Hi, I'm Grace and welcome to the Smart String Student YouTube channel, the channel that's going to help you learn strings quickly and successfully. In this video, we are going to do bow hold exercises on the bow. Now, you should be watching this video after the pencil bow hold exercises. So if you haven't done that yet, then you should go back to that video first and do those exercises for at least a few days, if not a week, before you try the bow hold on the bow. So before we begin, I just want to make sure that you're putting your thumb in the right place on the bow, okay? So this is the thumb area right here, and it's this space, there's a little bit of space between the grip and the frog. So you don't want to be putting your thumb on the frog. You want to put it in the space here, which was made perfectly to fit your thumb in. So what you do is put the corner of your thumb, which is where I'm touching here, in the thumb area, and it fits perfectly. Alright, the first exercise we're going to do is stir the pot again, but this time we're going to do it with the bow. So hold the bow straight up and down and stir the pot. And as you're stirring the pot, again, I want you to check to make sure you have a backwards G and that the corner of your thumb is in the thumb area where I just showed you. Now let's do our Rocketship Wrist on the bow. So let's start by holding the bow straight up and down. And we're going to go all the way up and all the way down. And remember, your job is to keep the bow straight, like a rocket. And in order to do that, your wrist has to bend in when it's going down, and it has to bend out when it's going up. And I'll show you from the side what that looks like. And when we start playing, this is actually going to be a down bow. And this is going to be an up bow. So memorize how your wrist feels when you're going up and down, because that is what is going to keep your bow straight when you start playing. Alright, next we're going to do pinky push-ups with the violins and violas again. So violins and violas, make sure your pinky's on top of the bow and do your push-ups like this. Now that you have a bow in your hands, you can feel the weight of the bow with your pinky, right? It has to do a lot of work, and that's why we call these push-ups. And you want to be careful that you don't put your pinky way out here, because that's actually going to make this exercise easier, but actually that's the wrong place to put your pinky. So you want to get used to putting the pinky closer to the other fingers when you're doing this exercise, okay? Okay, now let's all do windshield wipers together. So windshield wipers goes like this. And now that we're doing it with the bow, I want you to feel the shift in the weight. So what I mean is, when the hair is down, you can feel most of the weight on the pinky side of your hand, and when the hair is up, you feel most of the weight on the index finger. Okay, so I want you to feel that change as you're doing windshield wipers. Why? Because when you're playing in different parts of the bow, like say you're playing on the tip, your first finger is going to do more work, and when you're playing at the frog, your pinky is going to do more work. So that's what I want you to notice when you're doing this exercise. Next, let's do the cello and bass super elbow. So cellos and basses, hold your bow in front of you like this and pretend you're bowing. Keep the bow straight and make sure you're using a Rocketship Wrist. So when you're going in this direction, this is an up bow, so you should have an up bow wrist, and when you're going this way, you're going down bow, you should have a down bow wrist. Up, down, up, down. Now make sure that you're moving from the elbow and you're not swinging from your shoulder like this. Okay, moving from the elbow. And finally, Make sure you have a nice smooth ski slope from your shoulder to the back of your head. Now let's do super elbow for violins and violas. So violins and violas, hold up your bow and your arm as high as your shoulder and pretend you're bowing. Remember to use the Rocketship Wrist and touch your nose. Stretch out as far as your right foot. Make sure you bend your wrist properly. So do an up bow wrist and a down bow wrist, up bow wrist and a down bow wrist. Check to make sure you're moving from the elbow and you're not moving from the shoulder like this. So move from the elbow. And I want you to check to make sure you have a nice smooth ski slope down to your hand. Now we have one more exercise, and I want you to be really careful with this one. Make sure that you don't drop the bow. So this exercise is called creepy crawlers, and all you're going to do is crawl up the bow with your fingers. And you want to be very careful not to touch the hair, because we don't want to get that oily. And when you get to the top, this is the tricky part, you're going to crawl back down. So this is a great exercise to do after all the other ones, to loosen up your fingers again so you can start all over. There, we made it back. All right, so have fun with that one. So those are the bow hold exercises on the bow. And just like the bow hold exercises we did on the pencil, I want you to do them as many times in a day as you can. Pick up the bow whenever you can and practice, because the more times you do it, the more it gets in your muscle memory and the easier it's going to be when you add the bow to the string. So do lots of bow hold exercises and you will have a lot more success. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you learn to play strings quickly and successfully. Thanks for watching the Smart String Student YouTube channel, and we'll see you in another video.